welcome to the final day of Vlogmas, day 24. I'm still in my pajamas and I am over by my sewing space because I've got my little red dress project here. I've just clipped the ruffle onto the skirt. I didn't get it finished last night. I was quite tired, so I ended up going to bed. What did I end up doing? I got the bodice done and I got the first tier of the skirt done, but I didn't attach the skirt, so that's what I'm doing this morning. And then I need to do buttonholes, add to the collar, and then hem it. So hopefully I'll get it done by today and get some photos, but that's what I'm doing. I haven't straightened my hair or anything. I think I'm planning to spend most of today in my pajamas, if I'm honest, for Christmas Eve. We're going to watch some Christmas movies a little bit later. And I've got pajamas to sew, so hopefully I can get those done. I have got my Christmas mug. It says Mrs. on there. My husband's got a Mr. one, and the elves have just delivered some Christmas Eve boxes for my girls too, so they're just currently eating lots of chocolate. So these are their Christmas Eve boxes that they get every year. They get a little bell in there that says I believe. They always get like a bath bomb or something. There was chocolate in there. They've got a little like hot chocolate melting thing that they can have a little bit later. And then they've got a craft set as well. There's always a Christmas film included, and they get slippers and pajamas too. Hi everyone. So the last part of this video, I think you will have seen me talking about the elf boxes that arrived for my girls, and also in the middle of sewing. So I was in the middle of sewing up my little red dress project dress, which I've talked about lots this week in my Vlogmas videos. I did manage to get it sewn up, so I thought I'd share that with you first, and I did manage to get some pictures as well, so I will put in some pictures of me wearing the dress that I got finished. But it was using this lovely, it's quite a lightweight actually, cotton poplin that I got from Abercorn Fabrics, and it's got nutcracker print all over it. I think it's super cute. So I was using one of my favourite patterns, the Deer and Doe Myosotis dress. I'll grab the pattern actually because I have got it, and then I can show you what it looks like. So I used the Deer and Doe Myosotis dress pattern, which is this one here. And there's two different skirt options. You can do this one with the ruffles, so it's a short skirt and then the ruffle, or you can do the knee-length skirt. What I tend to do, and what I've done with my dress this time round, is I do the long skirt and then I add the ruffle on the bottom, so it ends up being sort of midi length, which is my preferred length. It's got the mandarin collar, and then it's got 3 buttons, and then you've got the waist darts and the bust darts, and then there's an option to add ruffles onto the sleeves, and that's what I did. I went all ruffles, and then you can put pockets in as well, and again I've put pockets in my dress. So I'll hold it up and show you, but I'll put pictures in of what it looks like on so you can see what it looks like. So it's got that mandarin collar, and then I've got the 3 buttons going down, and I just chose red buttons from my button stash. These were actually a gift from Rainbow Fabrics when I placed an order. Sometimes they pop in buttons or zips or things, just as a little thank you, and they popped in a bag of random buttons, and there was enough buttons for me to use on this dress. Then I've got the gorgeous ruffle on the sleeves, like that. I think it's a really cute feature. And then if I hold up the skirt, you'll be able to see. So I did the knee-length skirt, and then I've got the ruffle on the bottom. I mean, it's really lovely, lightweight cotton poplin. And I had intended to wear this today because we were going to go to the pantomime, but I mentioned in yesterday's Vlogmas that the pantomime had been cancelled. Unfortunately, somebody in the cast tested positive for COVID, so they had to cancel it. So we're waiting for them to let us know which other show we can go and see instead. But it actually meant that I had lots and lots of time to do all the sewing that I've wanted to get done between now and Christmas. I have left all of my Christmas sewing till the last minute, including this dress. So the deadline for the little red dress project was today, so I managed to get it sewn up. And I got some photos, and then I also used one of my Kylie and the Machine labels, which says not for sale in there. And I'm going to wear this tomorrow for Christmas Day because I didn't get to wear it today, and I think it'd be perfect for Christmas Day. It's got pockets, so I can put all the bits and bobs in my pockets that I need to. I'll probably get changed just before I go and collect my in-laws, because we've got them coming around for Christmas Day. And I'm going to be cooking Christmas lunch, which I'm really excited about. I love cooking, so I probably won't wear this to do the cooking, but then once I go get changed to go and get them, I'll pop this on, and then I'll wear it for the rest of the day. And it's going to be really comfortable. It's nice and sort of loose fitting, which is perfect. It's not tight around the tummy or anything like that, so I think it'll be perfect for Christmas Day. I'm really pleased that I managed to get that sewn up. And then the other big project that I had to get done today was Christmas pyjamas. So I was sewing up Christmas pyjamas for myself, and then for Ruby, Lola and my husband. I try and do it every year. I had some fabric that I bought from First for Fabrics, which I've shared in a couple of my videos, but I've actually got my pyjamas here. My husband's got his on already, and then Ruby and Lola are going to have a bath and then pop theirs on. But it was this cotton poplin from First for Fabrics. It's got Christmas houses all over it. And then I also got this Pontel fabric from First for Fabrics. So it's got that sort of Pontel design all over it. Really soft. I think it's going to feel lovely to sleep in. And I was using a couple of patterns. So for my husband, I was using the Tilly and the Buttons Joe Pajama Bottoms. And then I was using the Studio Jepson Rider t-shirt, because he loves that t-shirt pattern. It's really comfortable. It's quite loose fitting, so it's perfect for pyjamas. And then for myself, Ruby and Lola, I was using the Sew Over It Ultimate Pyjamas for the pyjama bottoms. And then for the top, I was using the ladies KLP top, which is Studio Jepson pattern. And there's a mini KLP t-shirt, which is Studio Jepson, that I was using for Ruby and Lola. And I've used it for all of us before. It's a pattern that I know really well, and it's a pattern that fits us really well as well. So here are my pyjamas. Let me see if I can hold them up the right way. Oh yeah, here. So this is the front, and then what I decided to do, because all of our pyjamas are exactly the same, so I wanted to be able to identify which bottoms were mine, which were my husband's, which were Ruby's and Lola's. I mean, for James and I, it's pretty obvious whose is whose, because his are bigger. And for Ruby and Lola, there's not much difference in their size. Ruby's taller. There's a couple of years between them, so I wanted to make sure that it was easy to identify whose pyjamas were whose. So I used my faff machine, and what I decided to do, I'm just looking on mine to see where it is. Don't know if you're going to be able to make it out, but I decided on the roof of one of the houses on the front, I would put our names. So I've embroidered using my faff machine, because it's got a, you can set it to put words on and type letters, sew letters is what I'm trying to say. So I've got mummy on mine, and then for my husband, he's got daddy, and then for Ruby and Lola, they've got their names, and that just means that we can identify whose pyjamas bottoms belong to who. And then in all of them, I did put a label, so we know which is the back. So I've got one of the cut one pair labels that say night night, and then I use the same for my husband. And then for, look, for Ruby and Lola, I put love you to the moon and back, which were the Kylie in the Machine labels. So I'm really pleased with how they've turned out. They fit really well. For Ruby and Lola, I used the Sew Over It Ultimate Pyjama pattern, which is a pattern that's aimed at adults, but Ruby's a similar size to me. She's a similar height to me. So what I did was, for myself, I sewed up, I can't remember what size, I think it was a 10. And for them, I started off with the smallest size, and then I basted the sides and basted the crotch and the inside leg seams, popped it on them, and then I clipped out any excess that I needed to. And for Lola, I had to take 2 inches off the top. I had to scoop about 1 inch out of the crotch at the front and the back, and then I had to take 2 inches out of the sides, and then it fits her really nicely. And then for Ruby, I think I took 1 inch out of both. And I found that quite an easy method to use the same pattern, and then just make those tweaks once I'd put it on them. And for Ruby, again, I ended up taking just 1 inch off the top for her. Lola, I had to take a couple of inches off the length as well, but they fit really nicely now. There's lots of room. I think they're pyjamas that they might be able to wear next year as well. So that's what our pyjama bottoms look like using this cotton poplin, which is super cute. And then what I decided to do with the t-shirts, you can see with mine, because they were all plain grey, again, I wanted to make sure that it was easy for us to identify whose pyjama top was whose. So I used a fat quarter that came in the latest So Hailey Jane box, and they were Christmas themed fat quarters. I used a navy one that's got like gold snowflakes all over it and different coloured snowflakes all over it. And I just cut out an M for Mummy, a D for Daddy, an L for Lola, and an R for Ruby. And I just appliqued it on the top of the t-shirt before I constructed it. I think it would have been quite fiddly to do it once I'd constructed. So we've all got a letter on the front of our t-shirt for our pyjamas. And it's really cute because it's a festive little applique. I've not done much applique before. I found it really enjoyable actually sewing it on the top of the t-shirt ready for our pyjamas. So I managed to get all 4 pairs of pyjamas finished in time for us to wear them this evening, and we're going to be watching a Christmas film wearing our pyjamas, and I'm going to put on my dressing gown as well. And then once the girls are asleep and I've tucked them in bed, I've got some very ambitious Christmas sewing that I'd like to try and do this evening. And the other thing to say actually before I talk about my ambitious sewing plans is I wanted to get the Waves and Wild crowns sewn up for Christmas Day, and I did manage to get those sewn up. So we've got 6 of these crowns for us to wear around the Christmas table, which I'm looking forward to. I think it'd be really nice to see everybody wearing those. And then what I'm planning to do this evening, hopefully I'll have enough time to do this. I did this last Christmas actually. I sewed up a couple of things for my husband as Christmas presents. I'm going to be using the I Am a Pollen jumper, which is a jumper pattern for men. It's a simple jumper pattern. I've got the front pattern piece, the back pattern piece, the sleeves, there's cuffs, and then there's a neckband. And there's a hemband as well. And I'm going to be using this burgundy rib knit fabric that I've had in my stash for ages. I think I got this from Like So Amazing about 2 years ago. And I'm going to be using it to sew up a jumper for my father-in-law. I've used this pattern lots and lots before. It does come together really quickly and it's actually quite straightforward to sew up. So I'm hoping I can get that sewn up. And then I'm going to use the same pattern to sew up. Again, it's a rib knit fabric. But I bought this neon rib knit fabric. It's a neon sort of peachy colour from Rainbow Fabrics a few months ago, with an idea of turning it into some loungewear for my husband, because I made him leopard print loungewear. It must have been last Christmas that I made it for him. So I used the men's Hudson pants pattern for the bottoms, and then for the top, I can't remember if I used the I Am patterns or I might have used the rider tee, but I'm hoping to get this cut out and sewn up this evening as well. And again, both of those don't take a huge amount of time to sew up. So I'm hoping I've got a couple of hours this evening once we've watched a film, and I should be able to get the loungewear sewn up and also the jumper for my father-in-law, fingers crossed. So the last thing to do before I go is open my final door on the advent calendar. So I've really enjoyed opening these. I think I say that every time I open them. So the final door is door number 24, and it's got plants all over it. So let's open it up and see what the labels are. And the labels say circa 2022, which is very apt for the last door. And there's 3 of those. So I look forward to sewing those into garments that I make in 2022. And that's the advent calendar finished. So that's everything that I got up to today. We did plan to go for a walk along the river, but it was quite funny actually. Once we all got motivated and dressed and ready to go, we went out, stepped outside and absolutely chucked it down. So we ended up coming back. We went to the shop actually, and then we came back home. Never mind. We might get out for a walk tomorrow instead once we've had our Christmas lunch. Go for a walk along the river. It's quite nice to do that. Thank you as always for watching. I wanted to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody that's watched all of my Vlogmas videos. Right back on day 1 I talked about feeling quite nervous about taking part, and I wasn't really sure how my videos were going to pan out. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to keep it up, and I have missed a couple of days where I've had to squish those videos together, but on the whole I've really enjoyed it. I've learnt loads ahead of next year. I feel like next year I might need to be just a little bit more organised. Some of the videos I've had lots to talk about, and some of the videos I haven't. Some of them I've just shared what we've got up to in the day, and some of them I've shared some sewing plans. So I do hope all of the videos that you've been watching, you've enjoyed them. Thank you so much for coming back and watching them and leaving comments and pressing the like button and subscribing to my channel. It really does mean a lot to have you keep coming back, and I really do appreciate it. I'm not sure when my next video will be. I normally bring out a Sunday sewing catch up on a Sunday, so that would be Boxing Day, but it just depends on how our Christmas festivities go. We are going round to see family on Sunday, so I might not get a video out to you then. But hopefully I will be able to film something next week. I'd like to do a roundup of all of the things that I made in December. I've kind of fallen off doing those videos, but I'd like to get back on with making those videos because I do find it enjoyable rounding up what I've sewn. But yeah, thank you so much for all of your support. I really do appreciate it. I just want to finish by saying, if you do celebrate Christmas, I hope you have a wonderful time with your families. Take care, and I will be back soon with another video. Merry Christmas, everybody. Bye.